Welcome to Season 5, Episode 10 of the Family Travel Australia podcast. We are Paul, Katie and Jasper from the Feel Good family. Join us as we explore this great country, Australia, its people, places and cultures.
Yes, welcome to the Family Travel Podcast, where we share the latest in RV industry news, road trip travel, caravanning, camping, where to go, what to do, product reviews, so much more. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, indeed. I tell you what, this week is awesome. We are celebrating Katie's birthday as we tick off a bucket list experience with a road trip from Launceston, Lonnie, to Cradle Mountain, including intimate encounters with seahorses, platypus, echidnas, penny farthings. We visit the Beaconsfield Mine Museum, drive the Tamar Valley before making our way to the extraordinarily beautiful Cradle Mountain, and Jasper starts school. In the newsroom, Aussies are staying home.
Mm-hmm.
Big week.
It really was a big week, and what an awesome way to celebrate another lap around the sun in this beautiful state of Tasmania with this bucket list of visiting Cradle Mountain. So spoiled.
Oh, no, it is fantastic, and we are certainly out of summer.
Oh, yeah.
Aren't we? This morning, we were reminded about Tassie's beautiful, crisp morning starts.
Yes, absolutely. Stunning this morning with that mist rising up off the water. A nice little reminder to put that extra layer on. I feel like the Michelin man.
All right, yes, be like an onion. Layers. All right, this week, our actual road trip itinerary is taking us from Launceston to Cradle Mountain. It's a 145-kilometre drive with those incredible mountain ranges, the windiness and the steepness of some of those drives. It will take you close to 3 hours towing time and just over 2 hours, 2 hours and a quarter, probably in a normal vehicle.
Yeah, that's right. And there are a couple of different routes that you can take from Launceston to Cradle Mountain, but they're all relatively the same kilometres.
Yeah.
And the same drive time and the same windiness and steepness and all of that as well.
Yes. Okay. Let's start at Launceston. We decided to stay in Old Mac's farm stay.
Yes, this is a fantastic campground. If you are visiting Launceston, Tassie's second largest city up here in the north, you want to stay just a little bit out of town, but still only 10 minutes from the CBD. This is awesome. What they have done here on this property is fantastic. It is literally just a huge, beautiful, green, grassy area. There'd be acres and acres here for self-contained RVs to pull up on. There are lakes, there are duck ponds, there are walking trails. You can come in. You don't have to book for an unpowered site. You do need to be fully self-sufficient though. However, every site in the unpowered area has access to water, so you can fill up your water tanks as and when you need. They literally have taps and hugely long hoses located every couple of sites. It's amazing what they have done and the work they have put in here. So $15 a night when we stayed.
Bargain.
So amazing.
Amazing.
Yep, you can self-check in. They do have a very small number of powered sites, so if that's what you need, you can book into those, and they're at the very entrance of the, I guess, RV campground. We kept driving, and this would be a good tip from us. We drove all the way through, as far as you could drive, and we found the perfect site, didn't we?
We sure did.
Yeah, a little bit sheltered from some of the wind that whipped up. Look, great place for the kids, for the grandkids, plenty of space to run around. You can have a campfire. They have an on-site petting zoo, so the kids can get friendly with a plethora of farm animals that are up for a scratch.
Yeah, Jasper in particular liked the llamas. I told him that they were called Dalai Llamas. I was a little bit mean, but gee, it was funny.
Especially when he asked how to call them over.
There he was.
Yeah.
Oming away to the Dalai Lamas.
Yeah. Look, there's also an on-site restaurant. It is separate to the campgrounds, but you can make use of that, open for breakfast and lunch. And as we said, just a 10-minute drive into the heart of Launceston. So a really great base.
Another great thing is that, particularly if, like us, you have a train enthusiast in your family, there is a freight train that comes on past a couple of times a day. There was one day, there was a 2:30 in the morning freight train.
Yeah, it's a thing up here in the north. We've camped at many campgrounds and caravan parks where these freight trains are doing their routes, their important deliveries during the middle of the night. So if you're a light sleeper, then maybe find a spot closer to the big lakes where you mightn't hear the train. We were right next to the train line and Jasper thought it was the most amazing thing ever.
So cool. All right, our adventure starts with a journey into the famous Tamar Valley. I mean, it's famed for certain wine, some good Pinot that Tassie produces in this cooler climate. Incredibly popular with the Tamar Valley dairy.
Yes.
Yogurts.
Yes. Love that yogurt. So good. And what a beautiful, picturesque day trip if you're looking for something to do a little further afield than Launceston. 45 minutes, I think, and we were up at Beauty Point, which is quite a ways north up the Tamar. And there's a couple of attractions that are quite unique up here and specifically why we went up to Beauty Point and
they're all close together.
Yeah, they are.
Which is really cool.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're looking to fill a day, it's a great way to do it. Seahorse World and Platypus House, which are literally side by side out on the pier over the beautiful river. So that in itself was quite nice to just have that environment. And really unique wildlife experiences that were fairly low cost. You know, you got a good experience for a fairly low cost ticket price. Starting with Seahorse World, getting to go back of house. This is a breeding facility, a farming facility. They breed thousands. I mean thousands.
Tens of thousands.
Yes.
I think they on display had 8,000 seahorses on display. And they're, I think, turning over 20 or 25,000 seahorses out to, I guess, zoos and other institutions and then also pet shops around the world.
Yes, incredible. And I mean, when you learn that seahorses and the male seahorses, when you learn that they can have between 500 and 1,000 babies at a time, it's easy to understand why those tanks are so full with seahorses everywhere, but quite fascinating. And to learn about a creature that, you know, you probably don't know much about. We didn't really know anything about the seahorse. So to get all of that information, enjoy a back of house tour through this facility. And the highlight, of course, for Jasper was actually being able to hold a handful of seahorses, which he just thought was fabulous. He giggled like so beautifully, like it was the best thing he'd ever done. Yeah, a really great experience. And look, we had a couple of other families on the tour with us, and even the parents, you know, you could see how much they enjoyed it as well because it was so unique.
Yeah, beautiful little creatures. Really
fascinating.
Fantastic. And then 50 metres next door out on the pier is Platypus House, or it's also known as monotreme magic. And a monotreme is an egg-laying mammal. There are only two of these animals in the world. One is the platypus and the other is the echidna. So a great surprise for us too to get to experience an intimate echidna encounter.
Yeah, try and say that quickly 3 times.
Intimate echidna encounter.
Look, I think that Platypus House is a really fantastic experience. I mean, gosh, if you're coming to Tassie, you know, you'll hear the locals, oh, yep, there's a platypus in that river. You know,
everywhere. That's right.
if you are lucky enough to see it, then well done you. We are still trying to spot the elusive platypus live in the wild. So Platypus House is a great way to, again, learn fascinating information. We have wildlife backgrounds, and some of the information that Deb, our tour guide, passed on to us even made our jaws drop to the floor. We hadn't heard it before.
Amazing.
And then just to be able to stand there, and you're literally only a metre away, and watch these platypussies.
Sounds bad.
To watch these beautiful creatures do what they do and not be hurried through. We had a great amount of time to just take in watching them do their daily business that they do, clean and feed and interact and play, and it was fantastic. And then of course to be able to experience the echidna in that same manner was a real highlight as well, going into that what they refer to as the echidna garden and being told to, you know, just find a spot on the carpet, just sit down, and then the next minute these three gorgeous Tassie echidnas come out. And what I love about the Tassie echidnas is that they're a bit more fluffy than their northern family members, a few less quills, and a lot more warm hair to keep them really warm down here in these cold conditions.
Do you know something that, again, you were saying we learnt and didn't know or we weren't aware of, is that there is another subspecies of echidna called the David Attenborough.
Yes, who knew?
Yes, and they have not spotted one in the wild now for 8 years. As soon as it gets to 10 years, they are, I guess, classified, that's right, as extinct. So it's not looking too good, is it, for David Attenborough?
No, and wouldn't that be such a shame to cross another species off that list? But really, really excellent, and again, great for the little ones. Jasper just loved sitting on the floor in that echidna garden, and he just, again, giggling as these echidnas came past and like...
Go, gadget tongue.
You know, sniffing around at him, and just a really great experience. And both of these tours were fairly short. You know, they're not going to take up all of your day.
45 minutes each tour, actually.
Yeah. So you could get in, you know, have a great couple of tours and then get back on the road, which is literally what we did. And then we headed to the Beaconsfield Mine and Heritage Centre, which... so deceiving from the roadside. You're really not too sure what to expect, and then you walk into this facility. I was gobsmacked at just what they have created here by way of visitor experience.
I think as soon as you say the location, Beaconsfield, you know, you can very quickly be transported back. Can you believe it? It was 16 years ago that mine rescue happened there, and there were 3 miners. One tragically was killed in the initial falling of the rock fall, and the other 2 spent 14 days a kilometre underground before they were eventually rescued. So that's, you know, you think about that. Well, like you say, it was such a surprise to see what they've actually displayed here. There's 10 different sections within the whole museum and the heritage site. Incredibly interactive. In fact, you are encouraged to, they say to the kids, touch and feel and press and wind and give it all a go. You know, it's not your normal museum.
No, that is so true. And they even have a little treasure hunt for the kids. So as you're walking around, they've got something to keep them occupied. Jasper loved panning for gold. Also working the huge ancient water wheel with the
stamping press.
Yes.
Yeah.
So interesting. And then, of course, it is the site of that mine rescue, and probably the highlight exhibit here is what they have laid out so beautifully with the various information boards and the interpretation around the mine rescue of these 2 miners back in 2006. What a moving display.
It is moving.
And a beautiful tribute to all of the people who came together on those rescue efforts, reading the excerpts that they have up on the walls from each of the individuals who were really, in control of those rescue efforts. Just fantastic. Goosebump stuff.
I love that final moment when they come up through the shaft. They're coming up the lift and they walk out and they grab their name tag, cards, their sign in, sign out wall, and go and move their name over from that side to the out. And it's, do you remember how emotional that was for everyone? Yeah. 16 years ago.
Yeah, just incredible. So really worth a visit. And again, a low-cost experience for what you are going to get. And we would actually suggest to give yourself a really good amount of time here.
Couple of hours.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
We felt as though we were a little bit rushed. We'd left it quite late in the afternoon. They do close, well, certainly over the time period that we were there, which was in February at 4 p.m. So we were rushing around to try and make the most of it.
They let us stay an extra half an hour,
They
actually.
did. Yeah.
Thank you, guys,
Yes.
because we didn't arrive till, I think it was around 3:15, so that would have given us an hour and 15 minutes. I think 2 hours would make that experience, the right amount of time to really get the most out of it.
Yeah, absolutely, but definitely worth going to visit while you're in the Tamar.
I'll also make mention of the 60 Minutes journalist Richard Carlton. If you remember back to this time, tragically he passed away. I believe it was a massive heart attack while he was covering this story and interviewing the actual mine company's manager about the history of their safety wasn't so good on record, and they have placed a very small, tiny, really plaque in a garden bed over there, like a rose garden that pays tribute to him and his life. And so, it's worth, if you remember back and you want to take a minute there just to remember that as well, it's, I think, worth it.
Nicely said.
Okay, let's move on. We are going now to take you to one of the most unique and awesome family experiences that we have done on our travels to date. Very fortunately, a couple of weeks ago we were camped beside a lovely couple that said, hey, you guys need to go to the Penny Farthing Championships, the National Penny Farthing Championships. There's very limited tickets. You need to get online now because it will sell out. Fortunately, we did. We snagged ourselves a few tickets and headed to Evandale, which was only, I'm going to say, 25 minutes drive from Lonnie, and the weather was perfect. We snagged a car park right at the front entrance. You are again stepping back in time to a little township, very small township that is so beautifully presented.
Oh, yes. If you love heritage buildings, then Evandale is a village you must visit. What is so fantastic about this event is that it is set within the streets of the main square of Evandale. So you're literally surrounded by these beautiful old buildings and these old growth trees and tree-lined streets. I mean, it is picture perfect. You could be in a movie. That is how beautiful this little town is.
Amazing, yeah.
What a unique event. Now, who knew that there was even such a thing as the Penny Farthing Championships, the National Penny Farthing Championships? Penny Farthing riders come from all over Australia to Tasmania, to Evandale, for this event every single year. Holy dooly.
Yeah, look, there's 54 competitors this year. They're in their 39th year, so next year should be a pretty big fanfare. There were over 50 events. It runs across 2 days. You think you see one penny farthing, you'd seen them all. Not true. These are works of arts in their own right. There is a famous guy, I believe he is called Dan the Penny Farthing Man, who is making penny farthings by hand, and they start around $3,500, go up to about $6,500. You can have it as bespoke in any colour and, format and different handlebars, different seats, but he crafts the entire thing, including the leather, all of the metal work. The spokes are handmade. I mean, it's remarkable. The skill. It's really a lost trade, isn't it, when you think about it?
Yeah, it sure is. I think riding these bikes is also a bit of a lost trade. I mean, it certainly doesn't look like something you can just, swing your leg over and get going. It was quite interesting to watch the races.
I'd love to have a crack. I think I'd need to wear that, like body armour. Yeah. Like a Ninja Turtle or something. There is a novice section, but you do have to, I think, have proven some formal training, have your own bike.
Right.
And
signed your waiver.
Yes, exactly. Liability, check. Exactly.
Look, they normally run a village fair event at the same time. This year, unfortunately, due to COVID, they didn't have that big event happening. But when they do, the town embraces it. And, of course, people are dressed in their old world attire and there's lots of fantastic things taking place over this weekend. Next year is a big year for them, right?
I think it would be so worth going to. It is in February. But do check it out online. You'll easily find the details, especially if you search Evandale or Penny Farthing National Championship. Yep. It is a massive event in the States as well.
There you go.
Yeah. So anyway, quite an intriguing and entertaining and very immersive. You felt a part of it. You were cheering on your favourite numbered riders, and there were kids that were like 7.
So good.
Yeah. All right. We should mention there was one guy, John, who was 84.
Bless him.
Yeah, and he had an original bike, one of the only, truly original, authentic left there from the 1900s, early. And he said in his really thick Scottish accent, they don't even have a category for me because you need 4 people and there's only 2 of us, so I'm going to be riding against my mate in the 70s and over. I'm 84, he kept saying.
How gorgeous was he? And he was dressed in it, he had his little suspenders on and he had his top hat and his waistcoat, and he was just gorgeous.
He was straight out of a movie.
He was. 84. Amazing.
Fit as a fiddle.
I tell you what, if I can even attempt to get on a penny farthing when I'm 84, I'll be pretty happy with that. Let alone ride one through the streets.
They got trainer wheels or something.
Love it.
Okay, let's move on now to the bucket list item. Again, to celebrate Katie's birthday, we're heading up the mountain, Cradle Mountain, saving one of the best experiences to last.
Look, before we do, we will just quickly mention another standout feature from Lonnie is, of course, Cataract Gorge. It's only 1.5 kilometres out of town, so definitely worth going to check out this beautiful natural formation that sets, Launceston apart from just about any other any other city around the world, in that it has this natural feature so close. So do go and check out Cataract Gorge. Oh, I tell you what, though, knowing that we are going to Cradle Mountain and putting it out there, and look, I have to say it was a bit self-indulgent, being the one responsible for our scheduling and where we're going to be when. Look, let's just say it was quite amazing that the stars aligned for us to be in the vicinity of Cradle Mountain around my birthday.
Perfect.
But that was also planned out to get around school holidays as well and try and get us there in not such a busy time. Best birthday ever.
Look, I would have to say it was just an awesome experience as a family unit to be in this environment. I mean, it is regarded as the world's leading World Heritage-Listed UNESCO area, and that's because there's 10 criteria if you want to be, officially recognised as a World Heritage area. And you only need to meet one of those criteria, which I was surprised at. Well, Cradle Mountain meets 7 of the 10, and there is only one other place over in China, and Cradle Mountain are tied for meeting the most criteria.
Yeah, and that's right. Most other places meet 1 or 2. So when you get there, you can totally get it. You can understand how this is so. And it's not so much even in how beautifully breathtaking the scenery is. I mean, it is breathtaking at every turn. But there is a feel, and this is one of those places that you can just feel how incredibly special it is here. Yes, she's gone all woo-woo. Is it Wednesday? Woo-woo Wednesday. It really is a must-do. If you are coming to Tassie and you can get to Cradle Mountain, do it. Put it on your bucket list. It had been a dream of mine for a very, 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 very long time. And so to be there with my boys on my birthday and have this incredible experience, just amazing.
Now, the real spoil was not towing the van up there.
Yes,
now,
that was your birthday present.
Yes, plenty of people do, and I mean, you certainly can, and it's safe enough, and there's 3 different, I guess, roads that you could choose from, and look, at the end of the day, they're all steep, they're all windy.
Yeah, and they all lead to one place, which is the Discovery Parks, Cradle Mountain.
And there is another free camp too that we've heard amazing things about. That is a little bit further down, maybe 15 minutes down the mountain. So, yeah, check that out as well if you want a free camp option by a lake, or you want to pay the
slightly elevated prices.
Slightly. It's more elevated than the mountain, I thought.
Yeah, look, to be honest, it doesn't get great reviews on Wikicamps, but the thing that it's got going for it is that it is right there. It is literally right there on the doorstep of the national park. So if you're wanting convenience, if you want to maximise your time while you are at Cradle Mountain and you've got your van with you, that would be your choice. That was where we were going to stay, and then
yes, we decided
not to.
Let's spoil ourselves a stay at Cradle Mountain Hotel. Look, in a nutshell, fantastic experience. Jasper thought he'd landed at Disneyland. He's like, oh my God, look how big this room is.
Yeah, there's two double beds.
There's two. Can you believe it? There's a spa bath and a little Juliet balcony that looked out through the alpine woodlands, and just a great experience.
I've got to say, don't you love that when you live in a caravan full time and you get anywhere else that is slightly bigger than your van, you're like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. This is so luxurious. I mean, a bath, and it was a corner bath, which meant we could all fit in it at the same time. So that was just like, yeah, we'd died and gone to heaven.
Fantastic. And also, I think being in an environment where somebody else can cook meals for you.
Oh, yes. Couple of nights off for my birthday. Woohoo! Nobody asking me what's for dinner. I was like, yep, well, let's do it. Let's book in. How do I pay them?
There's about 4 different lounges that you can sit by a roaring fire that's constantly stoked by the staff. You know, like the wood pile that never runs out.
That really did add to the experience. I mean, you are in alpine territory, and we've had a couple of comments come in off the back of some imagery that we put up from Cradle Mountain of people saying, holy dooly, please tell me I don't need like all of this winter gear in summer. Just a reminder, this is alpine territory. The morning of my birthday, we woke up to incredibly clear blue skies after rain. It was -3 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
It did get up to a maximum of 15 in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
And it was stunning. But just because it's summer, just don't forget, you are alpine. We had to buy gloves at the Cradle Mountain National Park Visitor Centre because our fingers were frozen.
Sure were. Okay, I just want to give a real shout out. If you were going to choose a meal while you're at the Cradle Mountain Hotel, choose dinner.
Yes.
That was our favourite experience.
Yes.
It was on Katie's birthday night. So that was, like I say, a really good spoil, beautiful bottle of wine.
Oh, we even frocked up for the occasion too, got a little bit dressed up.
Look out.
Yep. Romantic dinner for 3.
Exactly. But the staff, their attention to detail, the care they showed, the environment, you know, that you're right on the edge of the national park. Fantastic.
Yeah. Thank you, Dal. Thank you. It was a real spoil. It was awesome.
Beautiful. All right. Now, obviously, the jewel in Tasmanian's, natural environment crown is Cradle Mountain. We headed over on very fortunately on the perfect day. We were actually up there 2 nights, so 3 days. And the day we arrived and the day we left, it was freezing and raining and
so cloudy,
yeah,
or misty or foggy or whatever that word is to describe that environment.
Well, we were in the clouds.
We were in the clouds, and you would not have even known that there was a mountain anywhere near you.
So we chose to head to the visitor centre. A really quick tip, you do have to go into the visitor centre before you join the queue to get the bus into Cradle Mountain and the start of the hikes. It's about 8 kilometres down the road, and they give you a ticket. They cite your National Parks pass, give you a ticket, then you show that to the bus driver.
Got a ticket to ride.
Very good, exactly.
Yeah.
And you're into the park. Look, there's a number of different walks, including the Overland Track, which is a multi-day hike, which at some point we would love to do as a family.
Yeah, for sure.
There's the Dove Lake Circuit, which is about 6.5, 7 kilometre level, I think graded 2. It's a very easy, gentle immersion into Cradle.
Oh, so stunning.
So stunning. Amazing. And that's what we did as a family. And Jasper didn't complain once. We actually took our time. We took about 3.5, almost 4 hours. We packed a lunch so that we could sit at one of the many little seating areas and tables that, have this epic backdrop of Cradle Mountain. Just beautiful.
So amazing.
The lake.
We walked with smiles on our faces the entire time. It is just such a beautiful environment. Whatever you need to do to get there, you do need to go and experience this. And even if hiking is not your thing, you're not interested in that. What I loved is that you can still get on the shuttle bus. Now, it's good to know that you can't self-drive into the national park while the shuttle buses are in operation. And this kind of doesn't really make sense until you get there, and then you understand why they have the shuttle buses, and that is to avoid the congestion on the road, because you could imagine what it would be like if everybody was self-driving into the national park. Even if you don't want to hike, what I loved, particularly with the Dove Lake Circuit, was that you could get off the shuttle bus, you could walk a couple of 100 metres and be at one of the most amazing lookouts, looking up at a full-on smack bang in the middle of your frame shot of Cradle Mountain. You don't have to hike. Hiking was fantastic.
Or you can walk the other way, turn right and go down to the famous, it's probably the number one most photographed
landmark.
Yeah, it's the boat shed. It's this old boat shed. The lake, it's just right in the right-hand frame, and then the lake, and then Cradle Mountain. Yeah. Perfect.
Just stunning. As you said, Paul, it is in the heart of Tassie's World Heritage Wilderness. They're 1.4 million hectares, I believe. I got that figure right, of World Heritage Wilderness, and Cradle Mountain is smack bang in the heart of it. Doesn't it make you feel good? We say this all the time. Every time we do a hike in nature, we say, isn't it incredible what it does? Well, this is next level. This is lifting your vibration to a whole new level.
She goes again.
All right, I'm off my woo-woo now.
All right, so thank you, Cradle Mountain. We can't wait to come back and experience this summit walk, and as we mentioned, the Overland Track, one of those once-in-a-lifetime must-do hikes. So we'll be back.
Yes.
All right, just a quick shout-out to our little Jasper. He is 5. He's just started homeschooling while we were up there in the hotel. Pretty excited, isn't he?
He is so excited. He's pumped. Don't you love this age? They've got such a thirst for knowledge. They just want to learn, bring it on, which makes it really exciting for us. And, it can be daunting. I think I've been a little bit worried about it in the lead up to us starting. And are we going to be able to do? Are we cut out for this, Paul? Oh, my goodness. Homeschooling these days, how incredible, with so many different resources available, and we just spoke to as many other families as we could and got all of that information and found something that so far seems to be working really well for us. So we'll keep you updated on how we're all going, how Jasper's going, but so far so good.
And the homeschooling institution or group that we went with is called EUKA, EUKA. Yeah, so if you want to look that up, but we will give you updates as we go.
Yep, awesome.
So good. Good on you, Jasper. All right. Let's wrap it up there. We're now going to move into our newsroom, and the headline that we've read around consumer affairs is Aussies stay home. And it's because the sentiment is still pretty low as far as international travel for Australians. And our borders are opened, and so Australians are still choosing more than anything else to travel interstate and to really see our own backyard, which is fantastic. But with international borders open, I dare say we're in for a very, very busy season, you know, around those, particularly obviously school holidays and those international school holidays and periods generally align with ours. So particularly the Christmas run, that 6 weeks from December through to mid-January, get your bookings in early because it is going to be busy.
Yeah, I think you're right, Paul. And this is all off the back of a recent report released by the Caravanning Industry Association of Australia, market research, and that's exactly right. Over half, I think it was 59% of Aussies saying, no, look, we're not prepared to travel overseas yet. Interstate travel is what is most appealing. And isn't that awesome? Borders are open. We're a whole country again, free to travel within our country and get interstate and have these experiences that, you know, you may not have been somewhere before. So to be able to do that, I think is so exciting. And the one standout from this report is that Aussies are not prepared not to travel. And I think that is so cool. You know, we may not go overseas just yet in a couple of years, 2023 and beyond. But right now, we are not prepared not to travel in our own country. And we can so relate to that, can't we?
Yeah, domestic travel is king at the moment. So get out there, support those communities.
Right.
And particularly with what we've just all been through again now on the East Coast here in Australia, it's just still going. I mean, it's devastating, the flooding and what's happening for people around you know, New South Wales and into Victoria now as well. It's just phenomenal.
Yeah, it is. And a good reminder, as you said, Paul, to not only get in and support those communities, but also support those tourism operators, you know, these small businesses, these families who it is their everything. It's not just their, you know, their big business. It is their livelihood. So go and do some of these experiences. That's what we love. We feel like it's almost a bit of a give back for us to be able to go and do an experience and showcase it through our YouTube channel.
Yes, Aussie families giving it a crack. We love it.
Yeah, and there's so many of them. Everywhere you go, you hear that same story. So get out and support these people.
Yeah. Okay, let's look at our takeaway. This week we're really being reminded over and over and over again that life is passing us by very quickly. Not only what we're all been witnessing on the news, you know, in Europe, but you know, the floods but we look at Jasper, you know, he's in school all of a sudden. We're just like, geez, when did it happen, you know?
Yeah.
My dad's like, when did he get so tall? You know, we sent him a photo. And so... Again, you know, you only get 18 summers with your kids. If you've got that bucket list item or that, you know, that opportunity just to put the phone down and just watch your kids play or whatever it is, hug your kids, hold them closer.
Yeah.
Now's the time to do it. You know, you're not going to get it back, and it just goes so quickly.
A great thing that the family that we love from the States, Keep Your Daydream, do is their Summer to Remember campaign. And, you know, it'd be great to do something similar like that, just to encourage people to, you know, write your list up. What do you want to do this year? And it doesn't have to be huge stuff, but make a list so that you've got something tangible. Put it on the fridge. It's where everybody can see it, you know, a million times a day, and tick it off. And whether that's, you know, we want to get out into the national parks more, or we want to go and have a picnic, or we want to go and explore wherever, whatever it is, make a list, put it up, look at it and tick it off because it does go so quick.
I think we will do that. We'll bit of plagiarism. We'll thank you. Keep your daydream again. Look those guys up.
Yeah, they are amazing.
Tell everyone to watch them. They're amazing. But we'll come up with a version of our own and let you know when that's available because it is an excellent idea.
Something just to inspire you to, whether you are a family or whether you're an older couple and the kids have, flown the nest and now it's your time. Doesn't matter what stage you are in your life, having those things up, and again, no matter how small or how big they are, it's going to help you achieve them and it's going to keep your fires burning, and that's the most important thing. It's going to keep them in your mind, keep you inspired.
Yeah, a step towards the attainment of your dream. Mm-hmm. Yep, take a step. Okay.
Awesome takeaway this week.
Yeah, love it.
I'm motivated. I want to go and make a list.
Raise the roof. All right. Actually, yeah, we've got to clean up that list up there on that fridge, don't we?
Yep.
All right. We are getting close to finishing up our Tassie adventure. Hard to believe we've brought you 8 or about to bring you the 8th itinerary ultimate road trip series. What's next? We'll be sharing that in the next week or two. We will be doing our final drive journey, as we call it. It is from Hobart to Devonport through what they refer to as the heartland.
And beautiful, beautiful country here in Tassie, straight up the middle. Love it.
Love it. All right. So I think we are going to leave it there for now. We will say dream big, look after yourself, look after your family.
And happy trails. Awesome week.
Love it.
Yeah, we can't reiterate enough how amazing and spectacular Cradle Mountain is. If you haven't already watched the footage from our Feel Good Family YouTube channel, do jump over and watch it. It is just breathtaking.
There was another walk in there that we actually did. It was called the Enchanted Forest Walk.
Yeah.
Jasper said, this is a magical forest. This is a magical walk in the forest.
So beautiful.
It is that. And we were able to find some incredibly beautiful music to bed this experience and express how we actually felt. So, yeah, all in all, one of my favourite episodes.
Oh, so visually stunning. Yes.
Amazing.
Just beautiful.
All right. 18 summers with your kids. Don't forget that takeaway.
Hurts my heart every time I hear it.
I know. It's so good, isn't it? All right. Look after yourself. Bye.
Bye.